All right, let's. Oh, jeez. If only I were prepared for one of these damn streams. What's up, creepers? Hey, Geekers, Christy, Atari Creep. We gotta move my action figures. How is everyone doing this fine New Year's Day? Yeah, we're playing clean. We're in the clean mode of things here on the PV. You're gonna have to excuse me. I got a hankering for tater tots, right? And I wasn't going to stream today because of New Year's Day. But all the ladies said, we're leaving. We're gonna go shopping. We're gonna go do whatever. And while my tater tots were working, I said, let me jump on. See if I can't catch anybody. Maybe not too many people are hungover or whatever, but just come on and have a live chat. No games, no nothing. I got my Esquire by Squire. And as it relates to this channel, it's a Sonic edition. We'll be doing a video about this guitar. Over on the Creepy Crawl this coming week. Hey, what's up, Violation? We finally caught up to you, brother. We finally caught up to you. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a buddy of mine last night. And he was talking about something like that. And I was like, yeah, I had a dude in my chat this morning. That was, or this afternoon. That was already in tomorrow. Again, this was last night. And we had a chuckle about your locality and the time difference and all that stuff. Maybe not necessarily about where you live, but the oddness of the the time difference and all that stuff. Not oddness, but you know what I'm saying. You'll have to excuse me. I went for a walk this morning over on my other channel. Like I said, we'll be talking about this magnificent pickup here. And I'll say this right now. I had in my head what this thing was going to do. And I couldn't be any more fucking wrong. Any more wrong. Like everything I thought about this pickup was dismissed, dispelled, mostly in good ways. In one way, I'm a little disappointed. But overall, I'm going to give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. As far as radness is concerned. But I was doing a two-part kind of New Year's Eve kind of thing. I did a New Year's Eve thing yesterday with talking about something from my past. I uploaded a video from a channel I used to have years ago that I can't get into. Building a cigar box guitar, and it looks like it was filmed with a potato from 1812. And today, we got a bunch of snow. Not a lot, like a couple inches of just light, fluffy shit. But it was still snowing when I was up and about. So I said, I'm going to go for a walk and do part two. Part two was talking about investing in myself and forwarding my, how do I say it? If you want to watch it, it'll be on the Creepy Crawl. It's actually uploading right now. I never upload from my phone. As a matter of fact, let me plug it in. But it's uploading right now from my phone so it can get up there and I can finish it for this afternoon. But I mainly talk about, I also eat shit in it. I fucking wipe out because there's a cemetery down the street from me. And apparently they don't ice or salt any of the stuff. And there was like ice like this thick on certain walkways. And I took a spill. I made sure it was the very first thing they saw in the video. But talking about not necessarily the future of that channel, but the future of me and investing in me and being very selfish this year. I talked about fear of not failure, but success. And should something become successful, like I want to build little hides for reptiles and small animals. and I put a pause on it out of fear of succeeding. I know I can make it happen, and I'm used to failure, so I'm not afraid of failure. But it was more about the idea of what if it did start to take off, you know? Could I handle that? I'm not a business guy. What would I know about that, you know? The demand. If the demand started happening and it's just me, and now I got to worry about getting other people involved and laws and rules and payrolls and books, accounting and all this stuff. And it's funny because when you think about it, we didn't discuss this in this video. It's just actually coming to me now. It's a good point. Like, what's the point in making them then if I'm not trying to succeed as a business? So there's like a lot of these like weird mental conundrums going off in my head. But I had money aside as far as like Amazon cards I got for Christmas that I was going to start to accumulate to get myself an Intellivision Sprint. But I said, you know what? Fuck the Sprint for right now. Invest in yourself. And I got the idea from another video I was watching, this guy named Jacob the Carpetbagger. And he was talking about Adam the Woo. It was the day of or the day after his passing. And they were really close. And he looked at it as he was Adam's little brother that he never had, you know, or vice versa. Adam was his big brother that he never had, and I guess it worked both ways. But one of the pieces of advice Adam gave him in the beginning was, don't worry about it. Just invest in yourself. You know you can do this. Just go full tilt. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But invest in yourself. And he wasn't necessarily talking about financially, although the topic I spoke about was financial. I ended up taking monies from one thing and putting it into another thing, the little reptile haunt business I want to do. It's called Reptile Haunts. I don't know if I have the graphic anymore. Let me see. Let me go in here. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's Maybelline. Anyway, I thought I had it in here. I guess I don't. Ooh, AZ banner, blue background, the creepy crawl, new shirt, thumbnail, TV, the creepy Xmas. Yeah, I guess I don't have it in here. I thought I did. Let me see if I have it on the computer and I'll import it. I will import it. I will make it happen. But regardless, what I'm trying to get at here is that I'm just going to move forward with it. I'm just going to go forward with it. Nothing else is working out for me. Here we go. I do have the images. I just want to see which one is which. Hans logo. Okay, we'll do that. I'm going to add an image here real quick. Please excuse my in-the-moment kind of thing. I can't see the chat right now, so just give me a minute. The desktop. What folder was it in? We'll just go with this one. Yeah, because it has no background. Good. There we go. Well, I need to be able to move it. But I've been wanting to do this, but I paused on it because I was afraid of it maybe working out. You know what I mean? Making creepy / sci-fi little hides and haunts for small animals and all that stuff. Ones that I can't find. I mean, you go into the big box pet stores, right? And like they have a ton of the same stupid things. They have coconuts. They got those half logs, and they'll have some random something or other created in China and shipped out for nothing. But I had found one years ago for a snake that I was fostering. That was a pile of skulls. It was a one-off deal, man, at a big box store that I'd never seen. And then every time I would try to find something within a certain theme, like at one point I really wanted to make a Castle Grayskull one, you know. But I knew my snake was going to get too big for it eventually. And it wouldn't, his size wouldn't fit nicely in the tank anyhow. So the idea came to create them, you know, and then once in a while I'll throw out there like a one-off, one of a kind, something I don't want to mold and reproduce, but for the most part, mold and reproduce. And I got as far as starting molding one of the finished ones. And I got as far as 2 coats of silicon. But one of the things that I was missing was this tiny little $7 bottle. And I've had plenty of opportunity to buy it. It wasn't a financial issue. It was a what if this does take off thing. So I the fear of succeeding, and I often talk about it with this channel. If it were to ever become, a big channel, I don't know if I could handle it. I really don't. I don't know if I can handle that. I can barely keep up with what little I got now. So that's what that video is mainly about. I wipe out in it. I fall down. So that's pretty fun. And we went for a walk in the snow. It was still snowing out. We were at the cemetery down the street, which was quiet. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. So if you're so inclined to go over there, lately I've just been doing guitar videos. But I do plan on vlogging more. It's a vlog channel. I mean, for fuck's sake, Chris. Vlog on your vlog channel. What happened today? What are you excited for tomorrow? And that was the whole point of it. And somehow I ended up just doing guitar videos. I don't know, but I was doing that earlier, so I'm in a lot of pain. Not only does my hip not like this kind of weather. For anyone who's fairly new, I was a corrections officer once, and I found out that my sacrum's deteriorating away from my hip. And if I get hit the wrong way, it's going to collapse. It could collapse, and all your nerves run through there. So who knows? I could be paralyzed, I could be blind, I could be dead. So they're like, we don't really want you on the yard in case, you get assaulted. It's a physical job sometimes. So been kind of struggling since then. But the ability to do it, I'm fully confident. But the ability of succeeding in doing it, I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm going to go full tilt. But yeah, this one bottle right here was the only thing keeping me from finishing that. Well, this was. And I also got a small box of, this is liquid plastic, 2-part, resin, equal parts. Mix it up, pour it in. 10 minutes later, you got a plastic thing. Not the same product as what I use for the thumb buddies, but that cures overnight. So, Violation Entertainment says, I have a problem with people not believing what I do is even possible. So I learned to speed run my proof in real time. I can't make 3D rat in 3.5 minutes, hoping to get under 3 this year. Nice. Okay. I don't know what 3D rat is. I can't make a 3D rat. You talking about like literally making a rat? Like sculpting a rat? I don't know. But either way, yeah, my thing isn't so much other people. Because I'll come on here and be like, I want to do this. And every one of you will go, you can do it. Yeah, you're going to be good at it, And I'm not really, it's not really even about that. It's more about, let me make this smaller. It's more about if it becomes a thing, like if it becomes a legal thing. Like an actual business. I have to start getting like an LLC and, maybe possibly rent a space to, like Jack of the Dust. If any of you know who Jack of the Dust is, amazing stuff. But he started off in his basement. Wherever he started off, at home. I'm just going to assume it was a basement or a garage. And next thing you know, he's in a large space reproducing his stuff. He's got people working for him, and it actually became a small business. And that's the part that terrifies me. Fear and anxiety does fucking crazy things to the mind, man. Fear has kept me from so much in my life. So, I got the stuff. And I'm going to make it happen. I'm actually probably going to start tonight or tomorrow. Getting the other half of that mold. I got to bring it in. It's out in the hallway where we don't really have much climate control. The front hallway, which we never use. And let the silicon, acclimate to the nice warm weather inside the house. And then just clean it up a little bit and let it dry completely. And then I'm going to make a small batch of the thickening with the thickening agent. I'm just going to stipple it on there. And then once all that's completely cured, what I got to do is I got to make a jacket for it. Because the type of casting is going to be slush casting. I'm going to have to pour some of that into the mold and coat it, in a couple of different pours. I mean, I'm not going to do it all in one shot. God, I'd be wearing half of it at that point. And get a nice thick wall, a nice thick wall that I can grind out the door and smooth it off. I'm not going to paint them. I will maybe paint one or two just for pictures and stuff. And offer them completely ready to go. Like you can buy it either way. My main idea is to get it out there as a DIY thing. Here's the hide. You want to paint it? Go ahead. Have fun with that. But once in a while, I'll put up complete ones, of course, at a premium. But that'll cost you. But it all started because I had one that was a pile of skulls back in the day. In fact, I think I got a picture of it in my phone. In fact, I know I do because I put it in the fucking video. Listen to me. I think I have. Shut the fuck up, Chris. You're such an idiot sometimes, bro. You're a big stupid dummy head. It was a pile of skulls. That's a guitar body I was making. The wood for that guitar body was from a piano that was almost 200 years old that didn't work anymore. Someone was taking it apart, and it had these big beams in it. So I took those beams and made a body blank out of it. I have no idea what happened with ex-girlfriends. Am I right? But, I never saw another one. And I got it like PetSmart or something like that. It wasn't like a little shop, And I kept saying to myself, I wish there was a hide of this, or I wish this. I'm just going to make it happen and put them out there. And hopefully that will become something. I wasn't even planning on talking about this. I wasn't even planning on streaming today, but everyone left. Everyone left. It was the right time to do it. So, if you guys want to support me, I need the rah rah rah. But I do have a T-shirt of this in my TeePublic. So I mean, I'd get like $2 for every T-shirt sold. But if you would be so inclined to maybe pick up a shirt eventually, and when people go, "What is that?" you can lead them over to my Etsy shop, which I think I might open a second one just for that alone. So it's branded too, and eventually get an LLC for it. You'll notice I'm playing clean today. I very rarely ever do that. Violation says games need rats. And there's a logic to it. So I kung fu the and there's no remaining doubts. Right on, man. I guess the idea is get ahead of people's doubts and expect everyone to doubt everything because it is a world of lies. Absolutely. But again, I'm not really worried about other people's thoughts on any of this. I'm more worried that if I do make it happen. Because even here in the retro gaming world, we've seen it over and over again. With the exception of the really big one that everyone likes to talk about. Let's go to a little gadget, a little gadget for your console. I remember there was a gentleman I was talking to back in the day, and he has since passed. He is no longer with us, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he had a product that he was developing or had developed for the Atari 2600 as an enhancement thing. I can't remember what it was, but I met him through other things, and we chatted here and there. Really nice guy, but he had a lot of heart problems, a lot of health issues, and of course, eventually he he was succumbed to it. It was a sad day. He was a nice guy, but he was going to send me one of them, and I was at first elated. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. You're an honest dude, and if it sucks, I want to know if it sucks, and if it's good, I want to know if it's good, and I want to know I know you'll be honest with it. I'm like, dude, I really appreciate that. And then I looked into it, and it turns out it had been something that had been out for a long time that a lot of people have been waiting for. They'd already paid for it, you know? And I won't do any pre-order stuff, and I know I don't have to worry about that. But it's the idea of not being able to keep up with it. Let's say I put out 5 of these and they sell out right away. And now there's like people emailing me, when are you going to have them back? And like, I don't know if I'll be able to handle the keeping up with the orders thing. I mean, of course, right now with Etsy, I have to put down however many I do have available, and I can do that. Like I did with the Thumb Buddies. I have 3 more available. Link down below. Sold one the other night. And their prize is pretty cool. They got it's a notebook. It's a notebook shaped like an Atari cartridge with the labels, and the spine has the top label. I'm not going to say what game it was. I believe it was gifted to me by a buddy of mine, whom I'll leave unnamed, who I haven't even talked to in a long time, actually. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him. I met him through the Atari I.O. forums. Really, really nice guy down in New York. And one day he sent me this giant Star Wars package. You should look into that. Fun video. I think I got them from him. And I'm slowly going through like the little things I've kept over the years, you know, and then using them as giveaways for anyone who orders things from me, you know, gaming related and stuff like that. But if I were to succeed, what would I do? But that's neither here nor there. We're here to eat tater tots, talk about the new year as it pertains to the retro creep. Hopefully I'll choke to death. God, I'm so sore. Again, in the video, the beginning of the video starts with the slow motion version of that fall, and then later on you see the whole thing. Sucked. I mean, you didn't actually see me from like I set up a camera and then I wiped out. I was holding a gimbal and going, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, you just see me on the ground. And I go, fuck! I don't like to swear on that channel. I do a lot of like Disney stuff when I'm down in Disney, and whenever I go up to Canby Lake Park, I'll vlog that and stuff like that. We go to the woods and trails, and I was supposed to go around Massachusetts and New Hampshire and look for really cool stuff to film. Like we have up in New Hampshire, we have New Hampshire Stonehenge. Look that up, pretty neat. It's a legit thing. I wouldn't necessarily call it Stonehenge, but I guess the idea is they think it had something to do with the movement of the sun and the moon. And it was some kind of a time or a calendar, a timepiece or a calendar thing. But the woods are split right down the middle, and the thing's there, and there's a whole bunch of other little formations. Pretty neat stuff. Never been there, but I've seen plenty of video. Good stuff like that. But what if a goals do you have for 2026? I'm not asking for resolutions. Fuck resolutions. That's dumb. Oh no, hold on. How does that song go? There we go. I was gone for 14 days. Maybe I was gone for more. Tucked away in intensive care ward. Excuse me. Lying on the floor. Anyone know that song? I was gone for all those days, but I was not all alone. I made friends with a lot of people. I can't sing. In the danger zone. Oh man, how's that? In the danger zone. No? There it is. See my only life unfold when I gone insane. It's a song by Alice Cooper called The Ballad of Dwight Fry. It's about the actor. I guess he had mental health issues and ended up in the hospital a few times or whatever. I don't know. Wishing you a speedy recovery, man. Did you make it a short? I probably could make it a short. That'd probably be a fun idea. You know what I was going to do? But after I edited the video, I said, I'm not going back. I was going to do a slip count. Because I do, like so many times, you know? I was going to do a slip count, but I'm not fucking doing all that. But I made sure the one where I actually ate shit and wiped out on the ground, I left it in. And I put it in there twice. Once in the beginning, and it actually happens near the end. So, conveniently enough, it's like clickbaity. Not by design. Potion Sword Run. Happy New Year, my friend. He says, Happy New Year, Creep. Wishing you luck on your goals. Same with you, man. Wishing you luck with any of your goals and your health. I'm not gonna say and or, because we're gonna be focused on both health and goals this year. And if they happen to be one and the same, then that's awesome. But they can be separate, right? They can be separate. You can have goals and health, but your healthy goals are your healthy goals. But I genuinely appreciate you in here, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year's, man, to all from Inferno 224. What's going on? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that. I have a challenge for myself this year, says Potion Sword Run. I want to develop a playable video game I've been kicking around. Nice, dude. Are you going to use NES Maker? What platform, first of all? Unity, right? You can use... Is Unity a thing? Or is that just like a program used to help put what you made on other... I don't know. I don't know any of this shit. Just came across you live. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And you're very, very, very welcome. Very welcome. Tell us more about this game unless you want to keep it, you know. I'm good. I'm good with that as well. Me, I'm going to be doing little highs for my reptile friends. Actually, I should have Alucard out here. I got to wish him a Happy New Year. It says trademarked, but I haven't trademarked anything yet. Don't steal it, people. I'll still use it anyway. I don't give a fuck. Take me to court. See what happens. Nothing. Or they say you can't get blood from a stone. You can get blood on a stone. I've seen it. Oh my God, have I seen that. Finished Stranger Things last night. Didn't like it. Although, I have to be perfectly honest with you. Stranger Things kind of stopped for me after the second season. It was literally rinse and repeat. It's exactly the same fucking thing every season. You know, with a little bit of difference in the drama. And they focused heavily on the drama this past season. So I'm not going to give any details because it just came out yesterday. So the finale. So I won't ruin it for anyone. But to ruin it, everyone dies. Everyone's fucking dead. The whole world collapses. They didn't succeed. They didn't succeed. We're all dead in the world of Stranger Things. No more 80s flashback. I know what that is. I had that. There is a 2600 in it. They still have that in there. But I'm using Godot. Godot. It's an open source engine. I'm working on the pixel art right now. See, that's my biggest. It's a donut game. Okay, you got me. I'm a fat kid. At first glance, but I wanted to get weird with the ingredients and how to get them. That's awesome. A donut game. And then we got to get you to do the tater tot game. Gosh, get your own. Man, I'm loving this new pickup. It's called the Seymour Duncan. That's the brand. And the model is called a P-Rails. It's kind of like a 3-in-1 kind of magical doohickey, whereas there are multiple kinds of pickups for electric guitars. It's basically a microphone, in a way, I guess is how you say it. And, you have your three main kind. You have a single coil, which is what Stratocasters and Telecasters typically come with. You have humbuckers, which is what, like, say, a Les Paul comes with. It's basically two single coils together, wired, whatever, And what they do is, because there's two and they're going in whatever, it kind of cancels this thing called the 60-cycle hum that a single coil has. It's just a natural thing that happens. You have to get a noise gate or just play it a certain way, or else you get a, So that's what the humbucker was for, to buck the hum. But then Gibson also originally came out with this thing called a P90, which was a single coil, but it was a big motherfucker. And they just sound so throaty. Just think of, like, Leslie West, the guy from Mountain, Mississippi Queen. That's a perfect example of what a P90 sounds like. It's just raw and in your face. It's like a wolf. They're beautiful. But they're no joke. They're no joke. They're not going to be friends with you. And that's what a P90 is, because it's still a single coil, so you get the 60-cycle hum, but you get that extra beef. So what they did with this particular pickup is they made it a humbucker, but they made a small version of a P90 as one of the coils, and a thin rail single coil for the other coil. So you still get that humbucking thing, but then you can switch over to a P90, or just your typical single coil sound. And though they're not 100%, obviously, because they're not the same shape and size and all that crap, there's a little nuance to it. But the idea that you can do that, and you could also do it in and out of phase, which gives you like a muted trumpet sound, or you could do it in series or parallel, which, one gives you a little bit more of a boost, and the other one quiets it down a little bit. So cool. Seymour Duncan came up with this, decades ago. And I'm finally now getting to play around with it. You just need a little bit of salt. Oh my God, but yeah. Inferno says, I have a Vader 2600 Atari I got from an estate sale for free. That's awesome. That's probably one of the sexiest consoles to ever come out in that generation. Legit. I would say the Vader, the Heavy Sixer, and the Sears Super Arcade, which isn't in television. Those three right there. And when I said Heavy Sixer, I meant the telegames. You get that telegames with the burl on it and the aluminum-looking plate. It's just so fucking... It reminds me of a Buick Riviera. It reminds me of a Buick Riviera. But that Vader came out. And it's funny that we all attached the name to it, because it didn't come out as a Darth Vader edition. Some people will actually advertise it that way, the Darth Vader edition. We just thought it looked like Darth Vader because of the grill lines on his fucking face hole, and the console had whatever. But yeah, that's rad. That's a great price. Free 90 free. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you use it. Yeah, really nice. Crazy story. Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, I know, right? What are your favorite games on it? I mean, is this your first Atari 2600? Like your first... And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? You can give me an age range, 20 to 25 or 20 to 30, He's like, right? But is this your first experience with an Atari when you got that one anyway? When you got that one? Because I know a lot of people right now are dipping their balls into the Intellivision world, which is awesome. Because the Intellivision has gotten zero fucking love for so long. In fact, most people who are into video games, regardless of generation, will know what the Atari is. They may not know it as the VCS or the 2600 or the 7800, the 5200. But yes, this is my first console. My first console was the NES. Okay, all right, right on. I know a lot of cats that was the case. Their first was the NES, and then they went backwards. But Atari is at least known. Late 40s, right on, dude. Yeah, no, that's exactly where I thought you would have been after you said that. Can I assume that you had some Atari experience, though? Maybe at a friend's house or maybe your grandparents' house or whatever? But no, that's cool. That's cool. You should tell me, give me your top 5 Atari games on the Vader. Only on the Vader. If it works on other consoles, it doesn't matter. They're not your top 5 on those. No, just fucking with you. Yeah, what are your top 5, man? I love hearing from people who didn't grow up with it. Because I find that their favorites are a lot different than a lot of other people's. They don't have that same timeline mentality, whereas they can just jump into anything. And like I went to houses and everyone had asteroids, everyone had space invaders, everybody had, you know what I mean? But when you go out there, you never know what you're gonna find now. But going back to the Intellivision, at least any gamer will know what Atari is, regardless of what system you think of. Even with the computers. But a lot of people didn't know about the Intellivision. And it's interesting when I wear like the hoodie I have that has the Running Man on it. How little people actually know what it was. But when you do get somebody that knows, there's like a delight. I mean, I can wear an Atari shirt and some people will be like, right on. I had an Atari. I get that a lot. But I wear the Intellivision shirt. And it's all fucking crickets until that one guy shows up. And then the smile on their face, It's a completely different ball game because it just didn't have the name. It was advertised enough. Just Atari had just gotten such a strong foothold on the market before Intellivision came out. And that's too bad because it is a very capable system. It's a very capable system, especially when you compare it to the Atari 2600 VCS. And it's too bad that people have to discover it now. After all these years, and what I mean by that is not because, they just discovered it. I mean, because there's been nothing fucking out there. We had one flashback, and then we had some plug-and-plays, which I have one here. I was going to make a joke with it like a week or two ago on a live stream over at DJC's Sprint live thing on Wednesday night that I was a part of. And I was going to bring that because everyone had their Sprint. And I was going to be like, I have this. I have this. But Intellivision got zero love for so long. And that's what made me really upset when people were like, fuck this thing, no cartridge port, sucks. Like, you guys need to manage your fucking expectations and stick them up your ass because I think we're lucky to even gotten this soon after purchasing the IP, But let's see. All right. Hey, what's up, Chudley? Chudley McMuffin. Dude, I just saw this weird AI commercial for an Atari-themed Las Vegas hotel. I can't tell if it's real or not. The concept was real. The concept was absolutely real. They were going to do one in Phoenix, too. And I was all set to be there for it. Because I lived in Arizona for a few years, so I got a lot of couches I could surf on while it happens. I just emulate it now. That's fine. That's fine. Every Atari game together is like, I know. But Chudley, dude, that was a real thing they were trying to do, or at least they announced. When the cats that handle Atari now first really started talking, they started talking a lot of crazy shit. Bitcoin, casino stuff. And then they were going to do a hotel, which is what I think you're talking about. A big hotel And, you know, like the front of the building had the Atari fucking Fuji logo and just absolute madness. Fucking hats with speakers on them. What the fuck is that got to do with Atari? And a lot of people don't realize this. When this holdings company bought the name Atari, or bought the rights to use it, I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not a businessman. They initially announced, and a lot of people forget this, I have a video about it. They were going to do cell phones and tablets that were going to be both practical in what their physical object is, whether it be a phone or a tablet, but they were also going to be gaming devices, which we've seen that before too. What was the name of that company that did the little cell phone game? And you could use little cartridges too. I can't remember what it was. I remember there was this chick I was trying to date. She had one, but she wouldn't leave her girlfriend. She wouldn't leave her girlfriend for me. But it's crazy what they would do, what they were doing. But they did that, they announced it, and then it went under the rug. And then they disappeared for a number of months, maybe even up to a year or two. And then slowly just throwing out all these fucking stupid things. But we really got invested when the Atari box was first announced, which turned into the new VCS, which turned into a pile of caca. A lot of people are having fun with this. Every time I turn mine on, it's a fucking headache. And I wish it wasn't, because I have a lot of really fun games on there that I want to share with you. But every time I do it, there's either a problem with the controller, or it wants to update, and it doesn't update properly. And it's just like, so tired of it. I'm glad I only paid $99 for the all-in bundle. Because if I paid anything more than that, I would be pissed. I would be fucking absolutely furious. I would wave my hand in the air and go, I'm angry. And nothing would happen. Except for me doing that, looking like a douchebag. Infernal says, I know in television now, since then, great system, way better than Atari, actually. I don't know if I would say it's way better. It's more capable on a technical level, absolutely. And if you're really into sports games, absolutely, you know. Good stuff. McMuffin, Chudley McMuffin says, you might be referring to the Nokia taco. Yes, it was shaped like a fucking taco. Yes, of course it was Nokia. Of course it was Nokia. Light shines on Marblehead, you know what I mean? I heard that Atari 7800 could have been better than the NES, but the developers went to the NES. That's partially true. On a technical level, I believe the Atari 2600 or 7800 was right there, if not a little bit more powerful, with the exception of the sound chip. They used the same sound chip from the 2600. So it was tough getting, more sounds out of it. But they came up with this chip, I think it was called the Pokey or something like that they could use to enhance to overcome the limit of the console. But Nintendo, when they came out of the gate as an entertainment system, not a video game system, was able to grab that market again. And because they were so popular, they had a stronghold on developers. And it wasn't so much that they didn't want to develop the 7800. In a lot of cases, they weren't allowed to. Nintendo illegally told developers, if you develop for another company, you're not allowed to put a game on our system. And that was an actual financial threat at the time. Because everybody had the NES. Everybody did. It was all over the place. Once Mario Brothers was seen, fuck that robot thing. I mean, that little piece of shit box that never worked properly became the thing. And it still is the thing. The NES is the man. Period. End of story. But no, you're right. I mean, even the Master System was way more powerful. Okay, I won't say way more powerful. But the Sega Master System was way more capable than the NES. It was just, Nintendo had that grab on developers. And rightfully so. I mean, they came out of the gate in a market that didn't want anything to do with games. And became a fucking huge empire. So, thank God for it, because we now have... They looked at the practices of the past, Nintendo, and overcorrected to the point where they financially benefited from it. Probably by design. Japanese businessmen are really smart. They know what the fuck they're doing. They know what they're doing. And Nintendo has never let go of their practices to this day. I mean, they don't have the stronghold anymore. When they pissed off Sony, and Sony said, "Oh, hold my beer," then things got a little bit more competitive. But Sega was awesome. It still is, man. I absolutely love the Sega Master System. Great memories playing that system. My Genesis, I still love to this day. Probably the greatest console of all time. That 3-button controller is just like... You remember the first time you touched a boobie? That's the feeling I get every time I have a Genesis controller in my hand. Mine is, of course, the wood. I don't get wood. Well, sometimes maybe I do. I think if Sega came out now, just might be good. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, Sega's still around, but they're more of a developing company anyway. Or do they? I think they farm out games now. I don't know. I don't know what capacity Sega's at anymore. I know every now and again the buzz of a Dreamcast 2 would keep coming up, but it's like, no. As much as I'd like to, I've never had luck with a Dreamcast 1. Every Dreamcast I've ever owned has been broken one way or another. I've never played... Okay, I have played a Dreamcast, but not one that was ever mine. That was another video I made a long time ago. Asking people, do you have that one system that just eludes you for whatever reason? And the Dreamcast is mine. Every time I get one, either the controller port thing is popped, and I'll fix it, but for some reason it just doesn't work. Or it just, the console won't work, or something happens. It doesn't read discs. Whatever the problem is, it's just every Dreamcast I've ever had has never worked. Luckily, I've never bought one from a store and paid big money for it, and that's probably why. You know, I'm talking thrift stores, I'm talking yard sales and stuff like that. So, who knows? Who knows? Memory peripheral. Absolutely violation. Inferno says, PC is kind of taken over. It has, sorta. I mean, it's always been the master race, right? The PC master race. I don't know. I look at consoles now as computers. They're just not as capable as your PC. They're computers now. I mean, not that they weren't ever not computers, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, the PC world, man, way out there, way out there. Salty or abrasive good person, Happy New Year. I was thinking about you yesterday and the day before because of one of our last conversations. And I was saying to myself, I hope he didn't think that meant go the fuck away. Because I enjoy some of our conversations, unless you're being intrusive about one specific topic. But I was like, fuck, he hasn't been in my streams for the past couple of days. And it's not for the viewership. It's, I hope I didn't push him away, you know? Because it's not like that. Unless I strictly say fuck off. It's not like that. I'm glad to see you here, man. Happy fucking New Year to you. And Ferrell says, that's why you got to emulate. Turn up to 4K, made a brand new game. Absolutely. PS2 games turned up to 4K. Awesome. Right on, man. I've never done any of that tech stuff. Violation says biggest problem with PCs has always been Windows. After Windows 95, it's been kind of downhill from there. That's why I use Linux, Inferno says. Right on. I've never found anything with Linux that I enjoyed. It always seemed more of a headache, but I'm not really software savvy, so. Salty Abrasive says, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're welcome, dude. I genuinely mean that. I genuinely meant that. I hope you realize that. I was legit like, fuck. I hope I didn't make him feel like he wasn't welcome. I just got fucking tired of hearing about opening up the goddamn console. The thing is, the Sega Genesis controller was awesome, but let's be let's be inclusive. For some people, it was like touching for the first time a schlong, really. A schlong, a really big schlong. Because I remember some people putting that in their hands and like, oh, you might as well fucking put this in their hand to play a game with, you know? Drop Windows a few years ago. Right on, yeah. No, if you're able to make it happen, absolutely, man. You should try it. It's easy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's easy. It's not easy. Not for me. If it's software, I promise you, it's not easy. Even drag and drop shit. The only time I was ever really any good at software was when I used to do HTML style text-based fucking website building, and the only reason I was any good at that is because I had a lot of templates. A lot of templates as far as, you know, and I would just insert my thing into it. But I have never been good with software. And that's why I haven't made my own game. I have programs on my computer. I have a free one to make, I can't, actually I think I got rid of that one. But there was a free one going around where you can make a Game Boy game. NES Maker, which I paid the $40 or whatever it was for. Ugh. And then there's one that Violation here sent me. Let me go back into my computer called Click Team Fusion 2.5. Got that on here. So that's supposed to be fucking easy. Easy like one of my exes. Easier than ever. If I give you the Linux PC setup, you would have no problems using it. Android is a form of Linux. Oh, okay. Interesting. 10-10-26. Hey, you know what? One can hope. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I don't even know if I give a shit at this point. I don't know if I give a shit about it. Fuck, you tend to get me to talk about it, man. I'm okay with that. As long as you're not asking the same questions over and over again. But regardless of how things played out, if I was just the dude, you know, in the background excited for it, and didn't get the first-hand experience, you know, with I say the inside, but no. There was this circle, right? And there was your core guys right here. I was like right here's the edge of the circle. I was just kind of like right there. Just, once in a while I would get here and then realize, nope, I don't belong there. I'm going to go back over here and sit in my corner until someone says they need me. That's a little hyperbolic. But, if I didn't get the opportunity to test one in my own home, I would probably still be like, you know what, at this point, who gives a fuck? I wouldn't care. I mean, I have money invested into it. You know, I have pre-orders, but I would have just let it go. At some point, you gotta let reality kick in. And I see some fucking people are still making videos about it. And the kids use this word called the ick. Cringe. I'm not going to lie, dude. And I mean no disrespect to anyone who decides to use that as their platform to, you know. But every time I see on my feed a new video, especially if it's somebody taking somebody else's video and just either making fun of it or just playing it with fun music and weird editing. However the Amico comes up in any video from thus forward, to me it's just so cringy. It's like it's so fucking old now. And I know people really want to relive those fucking days. But when I look back to it, it wasn't fun. It was fun at first. But even when things were a little bit negative, you know, and people going back and forth and the Twitter responses and the shit talk videos. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm really guilty of it. And because of that whole time period, I lost some really good friendships. Not out of like a battle or a fight or anything, but because of how the topic split people. And to this day, I still, you know, like No Swear Gamer is a really good example. You know, I felt him and I were really good buddies. And I don't think he has any ill will towards me or anything. But because everyone did that divide thing, him and I just haven't been interacting at all. Where we used to interact fairly, you know. As a matter of fact, I still have a bunch of stuff here. I don't have his address anymore. Maybe I should reach out to him. Well, I got a bunch of stuff here that's ready to go for him. But it was right around that time, you know? I don't know. I think I got a little butthurt when he said that anyone in a certain group is basically on the payroll. And I'm like, I'm not on a fucking payroll. Get the fuck out of here. And I didn't see him as being the type to do the gossip kind of stuff. And I know what he does isn't gossip. It's reporting. But it's just so far left from what he normally does that it kind of, I don't know, it kind of hurt my heart because I look at his channel as one of the greatest resources to this day. And I still watch every one of his videos. Unless he's talking about, you know, the Amico. He likes to go into the numbers of games not being sold and stuff like that. And at this point, I don't give a shit about any of that. I really don't. Amico Home or Home Happy Games or any of that stuff. I genuinely don't really care about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just tired. It's old. That horse needs to be buried. You know. Ick is cringe. It really is. It really is. It's all icky, cringy, poopy stuff. Poopy stuff. The division was really upsetting. Like when Cyrus and I remember DS. Yeah, friendship was broken up. Almost seemed intentional by leadership at the company to stoke. You know what? It's funny. That came up a lot. Fuck it. We can talk about this. I don't care. Since, you know, I didn't see a lot of that at all. In fact, I say a lot. I didn't see any of that. Like, in my experience, there was a lot of accusation that people were being fed a narrative to speak about on their channels, and or they were being told not to interact with certain people. And I didn't experience that. And I think a lot of that came down to if it were to be true, and I can't say it was and I can't say it wasn't because I didn't experience it, and no one has related to me that happened in their experience. I think the powers that be knew I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm going to talk to who I talk to. And that's really all there is to it. Whether they were haters, whether they were curious, or whether they were 100% on board, and anything in between. You know, as long as you're not being a dickhead in my world, you're more than welcome to come talk. If I don't want to hear what you got to say, then I'll make sure you know that. I don't care. And hopefully it doesn't hurt feelings, because once it's over, that's as far as it ever goes with me. I don't take it with me. When we hang up from this, I don't take what we talk about. I mean, negatively, you know. Like when you asked me the other day about the inside of the thing, you know, and I was like, fucking do it enough. It was over at that moment, you know. But I didn't experience what a lot of people say were happening, and I just can't see it happening. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But I was never ever fed a narrative. I mean, there were times where, like Tommy himself would be proud of something, and he would say, "Hey, would you mind saying this or not saying this? Not scripted." I got to be careful with my fucking words here. You know, like say he was proud of a color, the Ferrari red. He would say to me, be like, "Yeah, man, let people know you like the Ferrari red if you do, because I'm proud of that one." You know, it wasn't, "Hey, I need you to hit these points." Because none of my videos have ever been like that. No one has fucking ever told me what I can and can't say on my channel. And if they try to, they were told to go fuck their mothers, period. And that includes products. I've been offered products throughout the years from companies, but the way they work is they're like, we'll pay you, we'll compensate you, but here's a list of talking points, which is fine. If I'm trying to sell you this mouse, and there are features on it that I would like expressed in an advertisement, if I'm paying you to do that, then I totally understand that. So if someone came to me and said, "Here's $50, I don't know what it really would cost to talk about this new product for me," I would love for you to speak on these points here, but everything else is all yours. I'm okay with that. But when it comes down to me creating the video and then having to submit it for fucking approval, no, not gonna fucking happen. Not in my world, not in your world, not in anybody's world. Nothing I put up here is going for approval to any cocksucker on this planet, period. Regardless of how much you have or have not done for me. As a courteous, there's a few videos that I did show first because I was negative about it. I was negative about a few things. I wasn't always positive. I was on the side of these guys really should probably start paying people off, back. But, money got fucked up, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. I don't know. But anyway, Chudley says, in all seriousness, though, you and DJC are way more cool dudes than a lot of the non-fans of Amico ended up being. I appreciate that. I don't want to speak on that either way because I don't want to speak negative about people that, first of all, I don't even talk about anymore. The only person I can definitively say I can't stand was that Frog Cat. And it was just how he went about shit. And I said, there's a phrase around here, fuck you and anyone who looks like you. That has nothing more to do than your reflection in the mirror. And they try to turn it into a racial thing. I don't even know what his background was. I've never seen a fucking picture of him. He's a cartoon. He's an avatar. He's a pussy. But he would come out with shit like that, make videos, the racist Atari Creep and all kinds of shit. So fuck that kid. But as far as anybody else is concerned, everyone had their opinion, And I could see through the eyes of both point of views. I had mine. And that was that, But to a point, I appreciate that, Chudley. I should have started with that. I fucking wicked appreciate that. Chuck is a good dude. His heart is bigger than most people's. And I say this all the time. He fed us once. And anyone who's willing to feed that many people has a good heart. There's something with food, supping. A lot of the world's biggest decisions are made at the dinner table while eating. Take that for what, how important supper is, at least on an East Coast kind of thing. Sunday supper, you didn't fucking miss it. You didn't miss it, period. It didn't matter what you're in fucking labor. Fuck you, get over here. We just made spaghetti and meatballs. Well, you're on your deathbed? You better get better real quick because we just fucking made a lasagna. Get the fuck over here. I think the attempt to control the narrative by the head of the company was the ultimate downfall and the creators of their haters. I appreciate what he was trying to do. I really do. A lot of companies wouldn't come out and try to, But I think a lot of what... I don't even think it was necessarily that. I think it was the off-putting of it. You got to understand, as consumers, we tend to be douchebags. Consumers by nature, period, are entitled cocksuckers. Just fucking work in any retail job. The idea that I'm giving you money so I can treat you a certain way is the way of the world. The customer is always right. And what I had was a sign above my counter that said, the customer's right until they're absolutely wrong. And I live by that. Most people who will hand over $5 for a fucking whatever it is that you're selling will look down upon you. And they will treat you thusly. And when you have somebody in a position like that coming back and saying, no, you're wrong, regardless if they were right or wrong, is what prompted. It wasn't necessarily what was said. I will put that on my kids' eyes, that I believe that it wasn't what was said. It was the kickback to the consumer's point of view. And I will say this to the day I die. The passion that was in that man for this project was real. It was palatable. You could feel it. You could smell it. You could taste it. It was in the air. It was bleeding from him. He legit wanted this to happen. Now, having multiple offices, was that a smart thing? No. And I think I've said that to him a few times. What the fuck are you going to buy? Why are you going to fucking room in Germany and all this, whatever? Just fucking open up a little shop. Make it happen with a few people, you know? But I think initially what happened was people were like, whoa, I'm the consumer. You can't tell me no. That's what happened. And then his personality started coming out. And it's a hard personality. It's not a personality for people with thin skin. And that's what a lot of internet people are. A lot of the people on the internet are fucking pussies. They're on the internet because they're fucking pussies. And they got thin skin. And God forbid you differ with them. God forbid you differ with them. And it becomes a fucking problem. And you could see that with certain individuals. I made a video once that had a bunch of logos of the haters. I would say about 40% of those logos I knew nothing about. I didn't know who they were, never even knew what they looked like. I just saw them in a lot of chats. So I made this really fun, Bitch Boys Unite, and had all their logos. This one fucking dude lost his mind, made 100 videos talking about whatever about me. And then when I clapped back, he was like, oh, he did the wrong thing now. And just like, dude, who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up. And then he thought I made a gay slur towards him. He's like, you're going to make fun of my sexuality? And it turns out he wasn't even gay. So I wish I had used that against him, but that's not my deal. I like to break balls, and I have, despite my depression and anxiety, I got really thick skin, and I could take a lot of it. And I don't know if you saw people falling out over time. A lot of people just they fell out, disappeared. Some people just couldn't handle it. Let's see. I think the attempt to control the narrative, we already did that. Shelley says, you are absolutely correct. I do recognize that Tommy was proud of what he was doing. By the way he went about it was wrong, essentially kicking the hornet's nest. Yeah, I mean, that's an opinion. I can't say you're right or wrong, and I don't really have an opinion on that statement. Maybe he should have settled down a little bit. If you remember correctly, at first he tried to make it fun. He did a little video about, negative comments. And a lot of YouTube people will do that. And in fact, there's I don't know who does it, but there's celebrity ones that comes up as shorts. A bunch of celebrities reading tweets about them. And then, scratching their head or making a joke with it, He tried to do that, and I think that really fucking threw the fucking fuel on the fight. You got to understand, East Coast cats, and I know he said that a lot, but East Coast cats have a more abrasive way of being, and it's not out of mean. It's not out of, it's just how we are. It's cold here. It's rough. Boston used to be a real tough town. You had to fucking be grit. And that's just how a lot of us talk. And I lost a couple of friends because they thought, not lost friends, but probably people who would come in here and hang out with me because of how abrasive I can be in my responses. But they're not out of anger and they're not out of hate. And it's just how, get the fuck out of here. That kind of thing. It's just how we are. We don't mean anything by it. If I look at you and say, get the fuck out of here. It looks mean and it sounds mean. But again, that's where it stops, right then and there. I'm not genuinely angry or hateful or have any feelings towards you whatsoever. I'm responding to something you either said or did. But it doesn't represent you to me. It represents that moment and the response I had to it. And it's hard for people to understand that. And the only reason I know that for a fact is because I lived in Arizona for 15 years. And oh my God, tough guys out there. Fucking tough guys. Everyone's always puffed up. But then when they had a conversation with me, it was whatever. Never refunding was crazy too. It is what it is. What are you going to do? You and DGC guys, I would definitely guarantee love to have a beer and smoke a bowl with in real life. Some pinball. Are you still making videos? I know you used to love doing those 5-hour live streams. With the Ouya guy. Something about him always rubbed me wrong. I never had a problem with it, but there was just something about that one. I get feelings, I get feelings. Cool. Catch your stream. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, Retro. Yeah, you too, Inferno. If you're still here, I apologize for missing this. I'm now catching up. But I hope you have a lovely afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend and all that. Happy New Year. Chudley says, things just have a tendency to always get out of control on the internet. And that's really what it's about, you know. It happens in most, I know, almost every online community I have ever, yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I hate fandom so much. Because fandom is about two things now because of the internet. Two things. It's about consumption and disagreeing. Period. That's all fandom is. I'm in Haunted Mansion groups. Disney Haunted Mansion groups. I'm in guitar group. Oh my God. Guitar dudes are such the biggest fucking whiny little douchebags. And then when you fucking either prove them wrong or clap back, they hide. They hide. They go in their little fucking rat holes. Oh, don't get me started with guitar fucking groups. I don't do the Facebook group thing anymore because of that. I mean, I'm part of a few, but fandom's about division and consumption. If you don't have every little fucking thing, you know, when something new will come out, like with the Haunted Mansion people, Hallmark will come out with a new ornament. And everyone will run out there and grab it. And, you know, all fucking, for 2 months, everyone's, you know, I got mine. It's like, can we talk about our love for this thing? I'm tired of seeing the same fucking piece of plastic over and over again. I get it. Everyone's excited. But it becomes a consumable thing. It's like, where's the love if you're just buying stuff? I mean, what do you do with stuff? You look at it and enjoy it. That's fine. I got shit everywhere that I look at and enjoy. I mean, just look behind me. Look behind me. But I don't sit there and try to get every little fucking thing. And then you get the... whatever. My community, let's see. I was part of just fell apart. Yeah, that happens too. Keyboard warriors. That's another thing. Mean tweets. Yeah, it's all faceless. That's why. It's all faceless. DJC, we were just talking about you and I being the coolest cast that came out of the Amico scandal. And how much I'm just fucking over it, you know? I remember the mean comments videos, like Jimmy Fallon. Or, yeah. Yo, DJC, Happy New Year from Sailor. I keep wanting to call you Sailor Moon for some reason. Salty or abrasive. Hi, Sailor Moon. How are you? Shelley says, I bet even the Buddhist monk meditation community have beef with each other. Oh, my God. Every fucking community does, man. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Still here. Okay, cool. Thanks. Happy New Year, Salty, from DJC. You too. Thanks, man. Nah, stopped making videos and deleted everything. Got to be too much, taking over my life. And I think that's what happened was it consumed so many fucking people's lives. The mantis bullied you, didn't he, Salty? You better watch out for that fucking mantis. I want to squeeze his nipples. Do mantises have nipples? DJC, you seem to be the expert on this. Let me know if the mantis has nipples. I must know. Tarot Destroyer G1XX6123. A gerbil is trapped in my boyfriend's butt, and I can't get it out. Should he keep feeding it milk with the medicine dropper, or just let it starve to death? I don't know. That's an interesting... Yeah, that death rattle could be pretty fun. If it triggers the right little thing, ooh, boy. Fuck out of here with your stupidity. Let's see, Finnegan hypnotized me into becoming a furry. Salty. Had to leave YouTube and find myself after that. Did you really have to find yourself? Milk, obviously. Don't kill it. Have you tried vodka? Okay, you know what? I think DJC has a really good fucking point there. Feed the poor thing, you know? That's all he says. Tara, please save it. Don't let poor innocent animals suffer. Well, you know what? He's sticking it up people's assholes. How much more can you really make something suffer? Don't feed it milk. Yeah, what if it's lactose intolerant? Put an M80 up there. It's the only way. No. This is what I say. I say save the creature, put the M80 up his own ass, and light it for being nonsensical and fucking stupid. I don't know who it is, but Tarot Destroyer, your mom can eat my ass with that stupid nonsense. Unless you're just trying to be funny. If you're just trying to be funny, then fine. But we don't do nonsense over here. It's all nonsense. It's all fucking nonsense. Potion Sword says, hello, DJC. Thankful for the amigos we made along the way. And that's exactly it. I made a lot of really rad friends from it, too. You know, a couple of people may have fallen away from my path, and that's fine. That's fine. People come, people go. Some people are just breathing heavy instead of coming. Oh, maybe that dude with the fucking gerbil. I would have used a guinea pig myself. But gerbils? Oh, they're cute. We had a gerbil here named Leo. He lasted about 3 years, give or take. Had a nice long life. He was really fun. We had this little, it was like a doll toy that had a slide that, you know, did one of these deals. And he loved running up to the platform and coming down, up to the platform and coming down. We'd leave like Cheerios up there for him and shit. He loved Cheerios and popcorn. He was a really fun dude. And he passed away eventually because, you know, rodents do. And I had a bunch of these little wooden coffins I got from Michael's decades ago. Not the shitty ones that they come out with now. But we put him in it and everything. I 3D printed him in his own little stone. And we went up to this area in the woods that I used to actually lived at for a little while. And we buried him. And she was little. My daughter was little. So we made like a little thing, and I told her, look, we're in the woods, so there's a good chance we're not going to be able to find this little marker here in the future. So you may not be able to come visit, but we know the general idea where it is. And I leaned my hand down on the ground. There was a broken bottle. I fucking gouged myself, and I got ouchies and bled all over the grave. Hopefully that didn't resurrect it, and it's not out there eating people. Maybe it's the one that dude stuck up his dude's ass. I don't know. Let's hope it is. Let's hope Leo lives. But we got a picture of him that she printed out on the wall of her bedroom, still to this day. And it has his birthday and the day he died. We know what the day he was born. But that was really fun. No, not him dying, but, you know. It's about arguments and mean and nasty videos we made along the way. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Fuck them. Anyone who didn't like any of it, fuck them. Fuck them in the ear. Fuck them in the other ear. I can also do gerbils and guinea pigs. 5 to 6 minutes for those. Right on, dude. Right on. Is that like your time limit under 10 minutes? Because that would bother me. 5 minutes, okay. You know what? That's a nice even little in the middle. And when I say even, I don't mean the numbers fucking even. So, but I'm talking about, you know, like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Even 25 would bother me. I would think after 15 to go right to 30. Oh. I say increase your durability and shoot for the stars. Get that fucking Guinness Book of World Record. Gerbil in the rectum cavity for the longest period of time. I want to see you do it. I believe in you. I believe in you, Violation. What the fuck? If you use a rat, actually, I can use a rat. My buddy's probably hungry. I got to give him some food here. You can dangle cheese in front of your belly button, and it will burrow its way through you. Oh my God. I've always wondered what a wild guinea pig looks like. I would imagine it looked like a regular guinea pig. I have always wanted a hairless guinea pig. I hate guinea pigs because they make that stupid squeak noise, but they can be really fun creatures to have around. But have you ever seen a hairless one? It looks like a little hippopotamus. Not quite exactly. You're not playing Hungry Hungry Hippos with the fucking thing, but the hippopotamus, man. I want a little fucking baby hippopotamus. Somebody make it happen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking kidding. I don't want a pet. I get a snake, and that's more than enough. DJC says, I believe they start as wild boars and then lose their tusks and shrink in captivity. That's awesome. This stream is friggin' riot. Yeah, dude. Anything goes here. Well, about 95% of things go here. We have a lot of... Well, no, that's more nanny boo-boo, huh? That's not funny. I don't know. It's really happening, yes. In both respects, as in the slang, hey, man, that's happening, dude. And, yeah, it's actually happening. I used to date a hippopotamus. Really? I dated a few fucking pigs. A couple of sweat hogs. But no hippos. I like the cushion. I really do. I'm not afraid of big girls. Not at all. My hip is. But I'm not. I'd like to raise a pet as a pig as a pet. I've always wanted a little potbelly. Yeah. When I was living in Arizona, I had 3 acres. I had 3 acres of land. And it was fenced off. And I almost bought a cow. I almost got a cow once. I just wanted a fucking cow. And my yard had plenty of food for him. I mean, of course I would have bought the right stuff for him and all that crap. And we had a farm vet, in town and everything. And it was just like taking, a regular animal. But then my wife's like, well, you need a trailer and you drive a Crown Victoria. you drive a fucking 98, this is years ago. Crown Victoria, Chris. How are you going to, I mean, I could have dragged a cow around in that, but. And then somebody was giving away goats. Fainting goats. And I almost got one of those guys. Those guys are so cute when they're babies, right? And then they become scary-looking satanic creatures. But capybaras are wicked cool. What are you talking about, man? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They don't even look real, dude. And it's funny, you look at them and you'll think they're like this big, but then someone will come up and their head is that big. And it just doesn't look real. There's a guy on Facebook that I watched, the Yoink guy or whatever. He's always in like the Florida Everglades or whatever, yoinking creatures, trying to get that 20-foot anaconda, if anyone knows who I'm talking about. But every now and again, he'll be in a country with capybaras, and he'll and I'm like, God damn, those things are bigger than I anticipated. The coolest pet I almost got, and I want to read these comments before I get to my story, because, I gotta make sure you guys are represented too, is a spider monkey. I was literally a cunt here away from owning a spider monkey. I've always wanted a monkey. It turns out what I really wanted was an orangutan. No. What was it in Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back? One of those guys. But came that close to a fucking spider monkey. Hold on one second. Once I got a hippopotamus for Christmas. I like hippos. Hippopotami! Oh, hippopotamami. Are we going back to dating? I like something to grab onto as long as my hands don't completely disappear. Well, if you have to use flour to find the wet spots, that's when I kind of cut the line, There are girls that are big, and, okay. But then there are girls that are just fucking big. Finian used to ride a hippo to the studio daily. I miss that furry guy. Well, maybe someday he'll come back. I'm sure he'll come back. He's still with you right here. Aww, and there's an emoji of a finger pointing at a heart. Salty, you are a nice guy. Potion Sword Run says, speaking of Finnegan Fox, that Amico commercial you made for that game was friggin' awesome. It really was. Chuck, when I first met him, I didn't take him to be a creative type. But man, I put you up there with the artists that, I have mad respect for. You are an artist. And you do a lot of things I've never had the balls to do, like the costumes and everything. I was going to do stuff like that when I first opened up my channel. Puppets, stuff like that. Oh well, maybe I still can. I just don't want to look like I'm copying anyone. Yet, my arch valve in my heart, that's why we've been having a bad palpitations. It reminds me of an old school Sonic commercial taunting Nintendo, Potion Sword says. Yeah, actually, if I remember it correctly, you're right. Thanks, Potion. It was quite fun, says DJC. The internet somehow mentions a rodent in a few conversations about cavities for 45 minutes. You know what, Violation? I'm here for it, man. I'm here for the kooky internet bullshit. That's what I'm here for real. You know, the video games are fun. Guitars are fun. Tater tots are fun. Get your own, gosh. But it's really talking about rodents and anal cavities and stuff like that. So, my my now ex-wife had a friend that she met through work who on the side trained spider monkeys to be helpers around the home and shit. I guess that's a thing. And I had made a joke saying, I've always wanted a fucking monkey. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you know, I have a couple that aren't, you know, some you can train, some you can't. But they would make a great pet if you're interested. I'm like, I don't have the money for something like that. And she's like, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You just have to research care for it. And I'll give you a little bit of a quiz. You know, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And if you have any questions, call me. So it became a thing where I studied in the early days of the internet. Well, it wasn't quite the early days, but it was the early days of Google. I can tell you that. But going to libraries and looking up, like at the time it was like National Geographic animal fucking books and stuff like that. And I was about ready to go down there and bring home a little spider monkey. It was a female. She really took to me. We hung out, you know, had a great time. But then I'm like, well, how do you potty train them? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I see you got a diaper on the fucking thing. And she's like, oh, no. That's one of the things that comes with having a little monkey, a little spider monkey. You have to, you know, maybe you could train them, maybe not, but you definitely want the diapers. And my youngest daughter, my biological youngest daughter, just got out of diapers, and I was so excited about that. And my now ex-wife was looking at me smiling, knowing as much as she knows she was the reason this was going to happen, she wanted nothing to do with it. But because it was brought up, and she introduced it, and she knew it was a dream of mine, she was going to let it happen. That woman was a godsend. She's such a wonderful human being. I don't know if my daughter's ever watched this shit anymore, but let your mom know I still think she's an amazing human being. But I'm like, oh, never mind. Never fucking mind. And I lost the opportunity to have a spider monkey. I didn't lose the opportunity. I chose against the opportunity. So, starting 2026 off right. This is the year of the Atari. I just realized that. 26. You know, I used to do on the 26th of every month Atari Day. It was something we did over at Atari.io and other places. I don't know if Atari Age does it. I don't really care about that community. It's very vulture-y over there. If you don't know somebody's name, God, I remember there was this one poor guy. He didn't know some developer's name or something like that. Somebody was talking about, you know, well, just John X. And somebody was like, oh, who's that? And oh my God, it was like 8 pages of people. How can you be a fucking fan and not know who John X is? And that was the last day I went over there for being a member. I mean, I'm still a member, and every now and again I'll get an instant message from somebody. But actually, that's how I got Sequest or Sea Venture, the homebrew of Sequest on the television. Somebody asked me if I would like a couple of copies of game or a copy of a couple of games, and I ended up getting sent out that one. And Jawbreaker, whatever it's called in television, but that cartridge never worked. What happened was one of the surface mount resistors was tombstoned, and when I went to go just seat it back down, I slipped, and those things are delicate. I ended up fucking it up. You know, I should have asked them to send me one, or figured out what the value was. I still have the cartridge. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try to figure out what the value was. Have you guys seen the sequel to Tiger King? I've never seen the original one. The one about chimp monkey owners? Wild stuff. Yeah. I don't do a lot of TV and stuff, you know. Oh, you like Atari? Name 3 songs. Dude, if you're the type to do that to some poor kid, don't get me wrong, I think the same thing. Like when I see some of my daughter's friends coming in with like a fucking Slayer shirt that's like cut up here and, you know, the little... I want to be like, yeah, give me one album and your favorite song from it. But because I'm a grown-ass man and don't give a fuck either way... I don't let it bother me at all. I don't let it bother me. Dude, Tiger King rocks. Highly recommended. I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate that, but I have zero desire. Like, I couldn't even tell you how little desire I have to watch stuff like that. I watched Making a Murder. Is that what it was called? The folks with the junkyard and the photographer gone missing, and after he got fucking jailed for sexual offenses that turned out not to be him. Maybe it was. Oh. But, yeah, I got no desire for any of that nonsense. I don't know why. Like Game of Thrones, never seen it. I've never even fucking turned it on. Never mind watched it. I've never seen a single thing of, what was the biker one called? Oh my God, what was the name of that show with all the bikers? Either way, I've never even fucking attempted to watch that. Oh my God, it's going to drive me nuts. Someone will put it in the comments. At least I hope they will. All right, enough of this clean stuff. Oh, wrong button. I've had this amp since fucking 1992. I don't know which button to fucking press. Sons of Anarchy. That's it. That's the one. I always talk about how sick I am of Master of Puppets, but it's a really great song to warm up to. It's a hard song to play, especially if you commit to, I'm going to play that live. Oh my God. James Hetfield is down picking. There was a time I could do it. But if you were to ask me to play Master of Puppets from beginning to end, even if you gave me a couple of weeks to, reintroduce myself to it, I don't think I have the stamina to do it anymore. But down picking. It's great shit. The silly bartender, zim, zam, zoom. He only said zim. I decided to add the rest of it. I put words in their mouth. Thank you, silly, for showing up. How silly are you today? I like to spend my time watching behind the scenes making of, etc. Of my favorite movies. Only got time to create. Yeah, for creative people. Right on, dude. I can dig that. I can dig that violation. Salty says, all right, gotta head out, I think. Thanks for the fun convo, Creep. Happy New Year. Oh, and DJC and Creep, let's connect on Discord for a private call if you're up for it. Peace out. I still do have Discord. I'd be more than happy to do that. I don't use it a lot, but I don't use it a lot. All right. Oh, I just lost my fucking screen. But yeah, that down picking. Gotta have volume, right? People sit there and say, do alternative picking. It doesn't sound right. No, No, it sounds horrible. I love that riff. I don't know why. It sounds so angry. It's like, fuck you, get over here, you know? Fucking, I love that song, and I'm sick of that song. Everything, whenever something about the fucking Metallica comes up, like Stranger Things, we were talking about that earlier. It was Master Puppets. I mean, there's so many good songs and so many albums, and it's always Master Puppets, man. See if I can still play the solo. Hold on. I can't play it anymore. Oh, that's not even right. It's something like... But really fast. I was just doing hammers and pull-offs. I was literally just going... But it's really... It's been so long. Art Big Fall. What a pleasant surprise. Well, games are dumb, and this conversation is stupid. Hit that like. Absolutely, Art. Art described this fucking stream to a T. I like that. Silly but kind of individual. Signing off. We'll see you later. The Television Mantis. I am the biggest fan of you. No one will get their Sprint this year. Least of all me. I was telling everyone in the beginning, I had originally saved up some Amazon cards to eventually get one. But I invested that money into it. Well, this. And in Television Mantis, if you ever have little kids, I'm making little hides for little creatures. I think your kids will like them. So if you ever reproduce, I hope you're a female. Because if you're a male, then you know what happens when you get done fucking, you know. After some head, you lose your head. I was born in the dirt. I never had no home. Guess I'm in a Danzig kind of mood. A Danzig playing the blues. The Television Mantis is my new favorite internet motherfucker. And he better stick around for a long time. Internet Mantis, are you going to be making your own videos? Because if you are, I'm going to fucking subscribe like right now. Actually, I don't think there's a way. Can you click on people's names in the chat? Let's see, channel activity, go to channel, pin messages. All right, I'm going to go to the channel. I'm going to subscribe anyway. I will ring the bell for all. There you go, Mantis. You're the man. Tis. You're the man. Tis. No one will get there. Okay, we already got that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I got some more tater tots that are now ice cold to eat. God, we've been on here a couple hours. What a great stream. What a great fun stream. We talked about a little bit of everything. We talked about rodents in cavities in which they aren't supposed to be in. We talked a little bit about Amico nonsense, you know, my theories on what happened, my theories on how the interactions went down, people being pussies. We had some very, very prestigious individuals popping in here. We'll start with Potion Sword Run, and of course, Art Big Fall. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And the Television Mantis. Oh my God. I feel blessed. But all of you guys are awesome. Chudley, Violation, You know what? Even salty. Even salty. Our old friend, Sweet and Tender Hooligan, DJC, what a fucking rad motherfucker you are. I don't know if you were here for that, but I was like, if you question this guy's sincerity and integrity, for compassion, love, the heart, he fed all of us one night, and if you're willing to feed people and sup with them, that's a special connection. At least in my world. In my world, it is. Eating isn't just about food and consumption. It's about fellowship. It's about caring for each other and stuff like that. There's a lot more to feeding people than that. Inferno, new name to me. Thank you for coming in. I am actually scrolling now because I can't remember who was in here. But if I did miss you, I do apologize. I don't think I missed anybody. Guys, Happy New Year. New year, new stuff. Try something new. I can't wait to see your donut game potion if you're still in here, dude. I can't fucking wait to see it. And, yeah, enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening or morning, wherever in the world you are. Of course, Violation Entertainment. I think I forgot your name, but how do I forget you? You're here every time I stream. And I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you, whether you come in once or whether you come in once every time. Guys, I hope you're doing well. Until next time, take care, keep it real, and most importantly, thank you for making me feel good every day when I do this. You guys have no idea the smile that goes on my face, especially after a fucking crazy stream like today. You guys be real.